Hello everyone, SirMonkeySuit or Zappy here, back again with Blockade Battlefront. We are on episode 2, and in the first episode, it was fucking chaos. Like, it never stopped. And the questions just piled up in my brain of like, what the fuck is going on? I had theories in the first episode about how maybe it all works. But we'll never know if all of that is true unless we actually watch the show. But yeah, so we got introduced obviously to the main character, who is Leonardo Watch, who seemingly like on the outside of Hell Salem's lot, which is the alter world, another dimension that placed itself basically in Manhattan, in New York, and basically took it over. He was basically this thing called the Anomaly came out of fucking nowhere between Leonardo and his little sister, who's in a wheelchair, called Michaela, and offered, like, basically, it wasn't even an offering, like, it was basically one of you two has to sacrifice your eyesight for the other one to gain some kind of, like, the vision or whatever. And this vision, this eyesight, whatever, I feel like has something to do with how we end the Hell Salem's lot thing and get rid of this other dimension. But yeah, so he ended up going into Hell Salem's lot, and he now works for a secret society called Libra, who kind of they were described as a team of supermen and kind of like just keep the peace. But there's just, I don't know what the fuck's going on in this city. It's all just chaos. Like, shit just going down. There's a SWAT team of Hell Salem's lot, like, police department that I don't know, like, I don't know. I don't know the laws, the justice of the place. But regardless, it's a fun little show that's got great animation quality, especially in the first episode, so I hope that keeps up. And it's also got some great voice acting talent in there as well. So yeah, hopefully we get some questions and whatnot in this episode. I would like that to be the case, so I don't have to wait like a week to get them, because it'll just be on my brain like, what the fuck did I watch? But anyway, yeah, I don't think there's anything else to really talk about. So yeah, if you do want to gain access to the actual reaction, the link is in the description below. There'll also be a link to the full length there if you do want to watch it in full and not just the 10-minute version, then you can do. But yeah, nothing else to really talk about. Let's get in episode 2 and see what we get. Okay, episode 2. Something just came to my attention that I don't know how to explain. So I said during the reaction that I need to go back after the episode and look closely at the name tags that was at the beginning of the show. And this cropped up. I don't know if you can kind of make that out at the bottom there, but that says Dick Suck. And I don't know what that means. I don't know what that means. Like, it's either... I don't know. Either he sucks dicks or he just likes his dick sucked. I don't know. I mean, the fact that he turned up at the... I mean, he was in a room filled with girls. A couple of them were naked. I assume he's into girls. I mean, I guess he could be bisexual, but I don't know. That just caught me off guard. This show is nuts. It's fucking crazy. I said during the reaction, but it is, like, it reminds me of Devil May Cry, like, the way that it goes on. Like, that it's so... I don't know. And I said in the ending of the show as well that, like, it's got, like, this real noir feeling about it, where, like, the whole world is, like disheveled and, like, out of sorts. But, like, it's so lighthearted in the way that, like, the characters go on with each other and everything, and it's a very fun show. It's a very fun show. I'm liking it. I'm liking the dynamic between the characters. So yeah, the other ones were the other, like, sort of name tags and everything like that weren't as, like, weird as Zapp's was, but Klaus, it just brung up the fact that he was a male. I mean, the reason why I was wanting to go back and say the name tags was I thought it was bringing up, like, what they were, like who they were. Now I assume that Zap and Klaus are just, well, Klaus can't be. He's got these like those teeth, right? But it just came up with Klaus as male. It didn't like give a species or anything like that. Um, you know, but it gives like other things like their personality traits and stuff like that. We got the name of the butler, who's Gilbert. So he's just a combat butler under the, I think under the Klaus family. And Chain has had some interesting ones. I mean, I know that they referred to her as, I think Stephen referred to her as the invisible werewolf during the show, during the episode. But in the name tag thing as well, it did bring up invisible. I don't know what that refers to really. It seemed when they were talking about her and following the car, or whatever, that like I don't know, maybe she's just, I don't know, like just stays out of sight, just stealthy. I don't know. I don't know what it means. Maybe like a lot of things don't get past her, and that's why they were talking about it, that part of the episode. Like, it must be really good illusion magic if Chain isn't able to pick it up. So it could be something to do with that. But also another thing in her like information screen was like, it said Lycanthrope Intelligence Agency. Like, what is that? I don't even know, man. Like, so she's part of like another group. I don't really know how much big of a deal that actually is. Who knows? There may be like an episode revolving around werewolves that we get a bit more information on that. But it just seems that there's just so much like shit on the side that's just like hasn't been explained. Like the whole thing with when they were inside the demon or whatever it was, like the truck, and Leonardo was talking about how human consumption is prohibited by like, and then he listed a law that was enacted that made that obviously it couldn't be a thing. So I don't know, like there was answers kind of given for certain things, but like just I get more questions, because there was that whole thing of them driving into what was referred to as Beyond, and then they basically said like into the alter world, and then Stephen referred to it later as like the alter world's heart. So I thought everything that was going on inside the city was inside the fog, but the way that Leonardo was referring to it was like going deeper in. So I guess the fog is stronger at the center. I don't know, because I thought they weren't outside of the fog, but the way that it was the way it looked in this episode was that they were going into the fog, like they were going into that wherever. Because I thought Hell Salem's Lot and the alter world or whatever, that was all the same thing. God, I don't know. Just questions, man. Questions. So yeah, I mean, at the very beginning of the episode as well, I love the juxtaposition of like I said, it's a very noir feeling, like run down, like the city's like run down, and it looks like depressing and everything. But then you've got this like cheery radio guy in the in the background, like talking stuff, and it's like, yeah, have a wonderful day. And it's like, here's a song by such and such, and it's like where it was like taken over after the alter world like entered like the fray and whatnot, and this alternate dimension or whatever changed the song and everything to like a certain degree, and it's like, what a wonderful beyond, is that what they called it or something like that? I don't know. It's just it's just such an odd show that like, it's so fun. I don't know how like to kind of describe it. Like, I don't know what the fuck the guy who like, I don't know if this was a manga beforehand or what, or like whoever wrote this show, he must have been on drugs. It's just crazy. But yeah, we got the name of that guy, Steven. So he's like another part. He seems to be more, I don't know, like what his like position within the group is, because I mean, it doesn't really state that they have like positions or roles, I suppose. But he seems more like intelligence gatherer kind of guy. Steven does. The only real role that we know of is the leader being Klaus, right? So I don't know. But yeah, I mean, Stephen was talking about eyes that can peer into the past and the future as well. Although that was just what was said, they don't know whether that is the case or not. But you know, I mean, the eyes just seemingly can. I don't know the limit of the eyes yet. I don't know the ins and outs of what they can do. I mean, we saw it a bit in this episode where like he can create his own kind of illusion magic. You know, like kind of just making others see what he wants to see. He put them off, and then they ended up veering and crashing. You know, so he's able to do that. And the thing that he did before as well about making them see the monkey as well, that was just like really cool. And also, I want to know like where he's like how he knows how to use this thing. You know, I don't know if it's a case of like it just came with the eyes, like this anomaly or whatever gave him like with the eyes comes just knowledge of how to use it or what. Because he just like the way that Leonardo goes on, he's very. I don't know, because like you know he called himself like a coward and everything like that, and he goes on very jokey. But then I guess that sort of just fits in with the whole show altogether anyway. That he gives you the sense of like that he doesn't know what's going on, because I guess everything is like him trying to figure out what is going on. You know, like that's why he joined Libra for. So he can get some like answers and whatnot. But I mean, he knows a lot about the eyes. But I don't know. I mean, I didn't get the sense that he didn't know what the fuck he was doing with them. You know, but who knows? When he was doing his rounds as well on the moped, with like doing his pizza delivery and whatnot, that little girl that fell over, who was also called Michaela. Now I don't know if that was just a thing that he was like. You know, like he filled in the gaps with his own mind, is like because I mean the kid looked like Michaela, except younger version of it. You know, the brother, I'm assuming, that helped her up didn't really look like Leonardo at all. So it wasn't like a visual thing that he was putting in there, because otherwise he would have saw himself as the boy in the situation. But maybe it was like an audio thing, like that he inputted there. You know what I mean? Like it could have been that, but it was I mean, that's a coincidence, because Michaela is not that is a name I've never heard before. So for there to just be two Michaelas within the space of you know like 2 episodes is a bit unbelievable. So it makes me think that that's not what the kid actually said, and her name wasn't Michaela at all. It's just what was inputted by because Leonardo was looking upon it. So yeah, there's that. Zap was talking about different blood styles and techniques. So I'd hope that at some point we get some information on that. The thing is though, I don't know how much really we're going to get. You know, like because this show is very jokey and. You know, I mean, we're only 2 episodes in, so I don't know if there is going to be a I don't know how far into detail we are going to get into stuff. Like maybe it's just going to be a case of not taking basically taking liberties of what is going on. You know, so like when they say like, oh, there's just different blood styles and different techniques. We don't know how you learn them or anything like that, but you know you're never going to be told that. But you know, just go along with it, kind of thing. I don't know, because the show, like I said, is just that kind of fun sort of thing where it could just be a case of like, just take it as it is. It is what it is, kind of thing. So I don't know, but we'll see going forward. Yeah, and Leo's seeing things differently as well. Like I wonder how he maneuvers, like, you know, because most of the time he has his eyes shut, but he's able to get around, and that is another thing that hasn't been explained. I mean, when he opens up his eyes, he's able to see things for what they truly are, so there's that. But like, what does he see when he's got his eyes closed is what I want to know, you know, because I don't, it's not there's definitely more going on. That it's not just his eyes. That he's like his whole brain must have been altered when he got these eyes, you know. But yeah, um, I love the whole thing as well of the of Zap basically using his own blood and having it tied, so that like basically when Stephen put it as like he was in a catatonic state because he's focusing so much on keeping that like that essential like essentially it's a blood thread all the way there. It was just really cool, and like lighten it up. So with that there, I understand now the visual more of what happened in episode 1 when he fought that half demon thing, where he just lit it up and fucking like incinerated the thing. That he was essentially using his own blood as like a almost like a conduit to like to you know to shoot the fire across, which is just like really cool, like setting his own blood ablaze. This is really cool. The monkey's got a name. It's called Sonic. So yeah, I mean they almost called it like a species, like a Sonic Speed monkey, right? In episode 1. But yeah, just to call it Sonic because it's quick, you know, gotta go fast. So yeah, what else? What else we got? Yeah, and I mean that's pretty much it, except for the end, which yeah, I got completely wrong. I was like, is this like Central Park or something? No, it wasn't. He was still in the hospital grounds, just you know, wait until I guess he gets the all clear. You know, then that's the reason why he was in his PJs. But yeah, he went off into like the like this forested area, which was essentially covering up a cemetery. And I thought for a split second, I thought it might have been something like a veil that is like cutting things off from the, you know what I mean? Like you can't really tell from the outside, but you go in, you walk into it. And that maybe it was something to do with his eyes, like I was talking about last episode, about how the eyes got him into the unpassable fog. But as of right now, that unpassable fog thing, I don't know if they're in there or not now, after episode 2. I'm confused because they were going into the alter world, like beyond, wherever the fuck that was, like further into the fog. So I don't know where they are situated in the place. You know, I don't know if they're just on the outside of it or not. But, you know, so I was thinking that maybe there was a veil that only he could access because he had the eyes. And maybe it's a case of that girl is a ghost. She can only be seen by Leonardo because he has the eyes. And she wants to be referred to as White. I thought for a second it was the same person from the end of episode 1. That, like, kid that was behind him. You know, but, I mean, I doubt it because... I mean, it's just a ghost girl. Just seems to be just hanging out by the cemetery. So, you know, but yeah, I mean, the reason why I thought it was a veil was because when he entered the forest, and we had that shot like where it zoomed out, and you saw like the church, like part of it, like this broken down church or what, like was behind him where he came from, but he didn't see that from the outside looking into the forest, you know. So I thought it was a case of, and they're tall buildings as well. So if you can't see them from the outside, it's like. You know, so it's either a case of like it is a veil, or it's just physically hidden, sorry, or it's just, I don't know, or it could be just something that only he can see because he has the eyes, you know. Like if a normal person saw it where he was, like it may just look like more forested area, you know. But I don't know, who knows. So yeah, I mean that's oh yeah, last thing. So back to because I didn't go in. I should have went into this before, but back to the name tags things and everything that was popping up at the beginning of the episode. When it went to Leonardo, it said specifically the all-seeing eye holder. So yeah, it's something that he doesn't hold on to, but again, it gives me the impression that it's something that somebody has at all times. You know, and the fact that this kind of just alternate dimension or whatnot just appeared seemingly just out of thin air, that this is something that happens a lot, and the all-seeing eyes are there to keep things in check in a way, and somebody always has to have the all-seeing eyes at one point, you know. So I feel like yeah, we're heading towards the end of the show. I figure is, you know, we revert this alternate dimension that showed up and it disappears, and then from then on it's like the contract's being complete, and he loses the eyes, and hopefully in some turn of events, the sister Michelle gets her eyesight back as well, and who knows, maybe even she might even manage to walk. But yeah, so that's all I've got for this episode. I mean, I'm enjoying it, just sitting here and just, you know, lapping it all up, because it's a lot. It was chaos in episode 1, and to some degree it was as well in episode 2. But like, you know, after episode 1, I mean, I didn't know what to make of it. Like, it was just like, it depend. Like, it was like a thing that like I enjoyed, but I wasn't sure how I was gonna. You know, like, it all depended really on episode 2 whether or not I was like, you know, like, I mean, if I was going to enjoy the show or not for what it was depending on how it was going to go. And after episode 2, I've sat here and I'm just enjoying it. You know what I mean? It's like, it's a fun show to watch, and to witness like shit going on. You know, so because it's not taken seriously. You know, like. The fact that they just talk to each other and just call people fucking, like, you know what I mean, you fucking she bitch, and you know what I mean, dickhead, and just all this shit, like, you know, it's like, just it reminds me of, like, you know, friends that just, you know, call each other, you know, cock wombles and fucking, you know what I mean, just like calling each other a cunt and a twat, and you know what I mean, like, they just have this like light-hearted banter between the lot. So I'm having fun just watching it and taking it in. But you know, I've had this thing before with like other shows where it's like my kind of style of show to react to. A lot of the time it tends to be shows that like have a lot of you know, like exposition and world building and stuff, that like things that maybe like have a bit of mystery to them, and I suppose in a way this show does. But in terms of like a percentage of mystery to comedy to whatever the fuck's going on to action, it's like all just crammed in, you know, at one thing, and it's very like, it can be very overwhelming. But like, you know, what I was getting at was like, a show like this is what like makes me kind of wonder, like, is it worth me just taking notes on things and like, you know, theorizing on stuff that I don't know if it really matters in the long run, you know? Because my style of reacting is generally like, you know, the priority is on, you know, watching the show and engaging with it and discussing about it and theories and stuff. And that's why a lot of shows tend to be more my style of reacting to something, whereas like something that's a straight up comedy probably isn't going to be all that, you know, like, I'm probably better off just not even like, you know, reacting to it in a way. And while this show definitely has like a lot of comedy like within it, you know what I mean, I don't know going forward how much, like, I was writing down stuff there about like how, you know, because I write down just bits of information that I clue together at the end like a jigsaw puzzle and try to come up with a theory based upon the information that I wrote down, that I've been given, right? That's why I write stuff down, because I like to theorize. But you know, like I said, in a show like this where it's very sort of chaotic and, yeah, like I said, like very Devil May Cry-ish. Like before, when I was talking about how it may just be a case of like we don't get information to some things and you just have to kind of go along with it and just say, fuck it, that's just the way it is. Like, that's what I mean when I'm like, I don't even know if I should be writing stuff down in regards to like, oh, what does this mean? Because it might not even explain it later on. Because after 2 episodes, it almost seems like that's the kind of show that it is. It's like, it doesn't give a fuck kind of thing. So, you know, but it's definitely fun to watch. So, you know, and that's just like after episode 2. So I don't know, I'm excited to get back to watching that next week. But yeah, I mean, that's all I've got. So I hope you had a good time watching as well. Yeah, when this goes out on YouTube for the general public, if you want to gain access to episode 3 and 4 right now, you can do over on my Patreon and become an early access tier patron, and you can gain access to those 2 episodes. And there's also, you know, full length there on my Patreon as well. And there's also God tier, other tiers there where you can pay to have a show reacted to. You know, so if you want me to react to a show, go have a look at those tiers, see what they offer. I also have a link to the Discord in the description below. But yeah, that's all I've got. So thank you for watching. I'll see you all next time. Bye bye.